or good afternoon, depending where you are. Thank you so much for joining our webinar today. I am Kim Rayfeld, Director of Marketing and Public Relations for AMAG Technology, and I am your host today. So our webinars are designed to provide updates on what is new with our Symmetry security management system and our services, and then with our company as a whole. Our goal is to improve our communication with you, not only to help you understand Symmetry's unique features and benefits, but to help you understand our company culture and philosophy and why you should partner with us to win customers. If you have any questions throughout this webinar, please type them into the Q&A box and we will address as many as we can at the end of the webinar. And we'll follow up with those that we didn't get to after the webinar. So today, I'm excited to welcome back Zenitel Director of Global Strategic Alliances, Safety and Security, Kelly Lake. We are thrilled to have Kelly return to the AMAG customer webinar and hear her insights on how integrated audio enhances all security programs, whether they're large or small. Zenitel is a strategic partner of AMAG's, and its integrated audio solutions tightly integrate with our Symmetry access control system. She will share how the integration can elevate your security program to the next level. And then we welcome back AMAG's Product Manager of Hosted Solutions, Matt McIntosh. He will talk to us today about Symmetry Analytics and its upcoming changes. I will then wrap it up with a short marketing update at the end. So AMAG Technology offers a unified and open security management platform that empowers businesses to effectively secure their facilities, meet compliance, and have peace of mind. While access control is certainly the foundation of what we do here at AMAG, we also offer a complete solution in our Symmetry security management system, which includes video management, identity management, analytics like we're going to talk about today, mobile, visitor management, and intrusion. And we are also bringing back our command and control system as well. Our solutions help our reseller channel and end users solve security and compliance challenges. The Symmetry security management system, along with our ecosystem of best-in-breed technology partners, operate together to provide a complete solution for you. So all of our webinars and so much more are available on our YouTube channel, which I invite you to subscribe to. Now I'm going to hand it over to Kelly from Zenitel.
Thank you very much, Kim, and thank you for having me and for providing an opportunity to discuss how audio and voice communications enhance the Symmetry product suite. In case you're not familiar with Zenitel, we provide IP-based voice communication solutions, specializing in intercom and public address. You may know us better as Stentaphone, a brand name we used for many years, but in 2021, we changed our branding to reflect our company name, Zenitel. And we continue the tradition of quality and reliability that we've always been known for. So no changes in the product or the company, just a change in the branding. But whether you know us as Stentaphone or you know us as Zenitel, we've been partners with AMAG for many, many years, providing the voice and audio communications component to their complete unified and open platform solution. Often, when I first mention the word intercom, one particular thing comes to mind, the front door. And that's certainly an important entry place to thinking about communications in security. But the reality is that audio devices are all around us and are the primary element of a complete security solution that allows us to speak to or listen to an area where a security event might be taking place. Use that information to understand what's happening and respond immediately. Next slide, please. So with that in mind, let's take a look at the variety of places that we might need to talk to when it comes to building security and safety. Most facilities today are running a number of different and isolated communication systems, none of which can talk to each other. So a typical control room workstation might have, say, a telephone, a radio, an intercom, sometimes more than one intercom, and a PA microphone, and usually a cell phone sitting on the desk also. And all of these different devices are designed to communicate with different people at different times. An operator might need to talk to a facilities group over the radio, forward calls to an outside entity via the phone system, make announcements through the PA system, or handle emergency calls like from an elevator where they need to communicate clearly with the person in distress. But they're often all separate siloed systems, and many times they haven't been upgraded in a number of years. As we have progressed through the transition to IP-based technology, especially for our access control and video systems, that's opened up an entirely new opportunity to modernize and integrate and unify all of our communications. So Zenitel systems provide a single platform that supports or integrates to all of these different modes of communication. That makes it possible to get critical information to the individuals or groups of people that need it through every available audio device. For example, in a lockdown incident, it's important to issue instructions to shelter in place. It might be a school where they need instructions inside the classroom. With Zenitel, that announcement can be broadcast through IP speakers, the existing PA systems, all of the intercoms and emergency help stations on a facility or campus, and even over the radios or telephones. This provides a truly unified communications experience, and then you can take that one step further and integrate that complete system into your other security technologies, such as access control and video. And now you have the ability to respond and manage your communications during critical incidents from within your other systems, like from within Symmetry. More on that later. Next slide, please. So what solutions am I discussing with our customers most often? I would put these in 3 buckets. You have video intercom, emergency or special purpose intercom, and public address. At the heart of the Zenitel product line is the Turbine Intercom series, and in particular, the TCIV Plus Turbine Video Intercom, which combines high-quality audio and video into a single device. Video intercoms can be used to identify visitors or vendors who want access to a secure location. These might be a delivery person, a guest speaker, or a parent picking up their child during school hours. Being able to see the person during your conversation and record the associated audio and video provides more accurate identification and better judgment, frankly, on who's allowed into the secure space. We also see video intercoms used for other restricted areas, especially inside buildings, and these sometimes don't come to mind until later, like, for example, lab or server room or sensitive hospital wards in a healthcare facility. The camera can also be used to view identification documents or to verify the nature and urgency of an emergency, like if someone calls in to tell you that they're in distress. And of course, the video camera can be integrated into Symmetry Complete View to function as another camera within your VMS for recording and easy monitoring. And even though video intercom is extremely valuable for identifying visitors in restricted areas, when we look at the comprehensive approach to security communication, there are a number of applications that require intercoms that are specially designed for emergency communications or unique areas. And this brings us to our next sort of category of solution. So for example, Zenitel provides an entire line of emergency stanchions and call stations. You might find these in parking garages or across a large campus, or anywhere where you might need to be able to be notified of someone that's in distress. Turbine stations, the turbine stations from Zenitel have a very strong audio output with 10 watts of power and a unique speaker grill designed specifically to enhance the volume and clarity of the audio. So when they're used in emergency stanchions like the blue tower that you see here, those stanchions become more than just a place to call security for assistance. They also become a paging speaker for delivering announcements or emergency messages across the campus or through the parking facility. The white station that you see here is a special clean room station. It's designed specifically for operating rooms, isolation or quarantine spaces, or anywhere else that needs to be disinfected between users. And this clean room station allows easy communication into potentially contagious spaces like isolation room or patient room without endangering healthcare workers or staff. And of course, it was very, very important to helping equip healthcare workers to be able to communicate clearly during COVID. And the yellow station on the right is a heavy industrial unit popular at utility sites, dams, ports, or even mines. The final category is public announcement equipment. IP speakers and horns can be combined with the turbine stations on a single system to create a powerful PA system. These have been especially popular lately for managing perimeter security, being able to speak out to someone on the perimeter that you've noticed through maybe an analytic or a video alarm. We can use these for issuing emergency notification broadcasts or even for crowd control. In airports, hospitals, or any location where people need to stay informed, IP speakers and horns are a simple solution and can be added to our systems like any other device. With Zenitel, the important thing to realize is that all of the devices are mix and match, featuring the same technology and the same great audio and video quality, without having to worry about how many of this or how many of those. Just choose the form factor that fits the application. Next slide, please. So whether a facility needs intercoms or horns or a fully integrated solution, we know that a few key elements are critical to communication. The first being audio clarity, and the second being system flexibility. So we're going to dive into just a few details on how we accomplish those things so that you can go into your facility or your customer's facility with confidence, knowing that this solution will provide you with the solutions that you need. Next slide, please. So at the heart of the Zenitel product line, like I mentioned, is the turbine intercom series, which provides the very best audio quality in this category on the market, so that anyone trying to communicate can easily hear, be heard, and be understood in any environment. The turbine technology is unique in its ability to automatically adjust to its surroundings, which provides the very best intelligibility across a variety of areas or noise environments. And there's a couple of software features that make that possible. The first is active noise reduction, which removes background noise and isolates the voice so that the operator can hear the caller clearly. If you think of a vehicle gate or even a loading dock where the truck driver needs to call in for permission and gain access to a facility, that's going to be an extremely high noise, high background noise situation. So for the operator to be able to hear the truck driver clearly, the active noise reduction will remove that background noise and make sure that the operator can hear and understand what's being said. Acoustic echo cancellation allows the stations to work in full open duplex, which means both people can talk at the same time. This is a detail that's often overlooked in intercoms, but it's really important to making sure that the conversation feels natural and both people can be heard. Most intercoms only allow one person to speak at a time, and the resulting choppiness makes it difficult to understand what's being said, especially if there's an emergency or the caller is panicked or in distress. And finally, the turbine line of intercoms have a very strong audio output, as I mentioned. So automatic volume control adapts the volume to the appropriate level, depending on how much noise there is in the area. So for example, let's say you have an emergency call station located in a subway platform, like we have in Boston, for example. Subway stations are often quiet areas when there's no train in the station. And so if you were making a call, you would want the volume to be at a moderate level. But when the train comes in and all the people pour out and the station is crowded, people are talking, then of course the ambient noise of the train and the people becomes extremely loud. And if you wanted to be able to hear instructions being issued to you from a security officer the volume on that station would need to be much louder. So the turbine stations will automatically adjust depending on the area and the noise that's in the background. Automatic volume gain control adjusts for one caller who might be close to the microphone and yelling if they're in distress, or the next who might be farther away and trying to communicate with you at a distance. The microphone will adjust to capture the voice most effectively depending on what the circumstances are. Next slide, please. I mentioned the TCIV Plus video intercom, and it's really sort of the central feature of our video intercom offering today, and we're really proud of the latest release of models. So the TCIV Plus intercom stations combined our unrivaled audio that I was just talking about with HD video. They also include new hardware, a powerful new chipset, and expanded memory, which translates into faster data processing, better stability, higher uptime, and stronger cybersecurity. Included in the most recent product release is a touchless sensor, which is powered from the intercom itself and specifically designed to work with the turbine station so that in high traffic areas, you don't have to push the button necessarily to initiate conversation. The camera is a Zenitel camera with 1080p resolution, a 1.6 megapixel camera, excellent low light and backlight performance, and a nice wide field of view, both horizontally so that you can see the caller and anything or anyone that might be around them, as well as vertically, so it can accommodate folks that are especially tall who walk up to the station, or maybe somebody whose mobility is impaired and might be in a wheelchair, and therefore they're a little lower down. And all of our devices, especially our video intercoms, are compliant with ONVIF Profile F, as well as the audio components of Profile T. What that means is that you can use this video camera just like any other camera on the system, importing and recording the video and the audio, and combining that view with other views in the area. Like, for example, in a vehicle, you might want to have the video intercom on the caller's face, but then also have an external camera for reading the license plate or seeing the rest of the vehicle. Next slide, please. Now, I mentioned the importance of flexibility, and every customer is different. So flexible deployment options allow customers to get only what they need today, knowing it can grow or change over time. And with Zenitel, a customer has 3 different options in how these devices are deployed. Remember, the devices are interchangeable, mix and match, but they all accommodate all of these programming options. The first being SIP, the second being IC Edge, and the third being ICX AlphaCom. For simple deployments at the edge, Zenitel IP intercoms or horns can be easily configured as SIP devices, connected simply to an existing telephone system. Or they can be connected to each other as an independent IC Edge system, which provides a feature-rich but very simple intercom or PA system for up to 64 IP devices. Doesn't require a central server or any other infrastructure like connection to your phone system. It's an independent Zenitel system that provides, most of the functionality of basic intercom and PA systems. These solutions are perfect for small to medium businesses or for customers that have many smaller locations. If a more robust system is required, then we layer in the ICX AlphaCom Enterprise Communications Platform, which is a separate appliance, and that can be specifically tailored to the customer's business and operations with all kinds of enhanced features and customizable operations. It provides central management of larger enterprise systems, accommodating hundreds or even thousands of edge devices, and some enhanced cybersecurity features. Now, what's really great is that whether you're using the devices as an IC Edge system or in an ICX AlphaCom mode, then AMAG Symmetry integration is available on all of those platforms. Next slide, please. And I just wanted to highlight to you that there's a very simple video door entry kit available, which makes this so simple to deploy. It's a video intercom, a backbox, and a master station that's pre-programmed and expandable up to 64 units. Again, this can be integrated to Symmetry. We'll look at that next. But this provides a super robust and high quality audio communication system with video, super easy right out of the box. So contact your nearest Zenitel or AMAG sales representative for more information on that. Next slide. So I want to use my last couple of minutes to just take a look at Zenitel integration to Symmetry and what that brings to the table. Next slide. When you integrate communications into access control, you get a number of different areas of functionality that you don't get when your intercom or PA systems are separately deployed from access control. The first is the ability to connect calls directly from the user interface and manage the call queue. You can automatically associate events based on different alarms to trigger like a pre-recorded message, for example, or other actions within the integrated system. You can broadcast emergency or operational announcements from within the Symmetry interface, and all of these events are logged so that you can run reports on them later. Also, all of the devices are supervised, so you can see the status of the Zenitel system and devices from within Symmetry, and you can see where all of these devices are located on the map. Next slide. So just a quick view of the intercom screen within the Symmetry platform. It's an easy to use window for managing and answering calls, and there's no audio built into this. This would associate with a master station at the local workstation. Next slide, please. There's a quick filter based on intercom groups, which can be selected to broadcast messages. Each station also has a corresponding button that allows you to make and receive calls, mark it as a favorite, view the associated camera, or open the associated door. And you can also search through the intercoms for the one you're looking for based on the search tab. That might be helpful if you have a large number. Next slide. There's also a call log that'll show you the history. You can even return a call from this location, and you can associate up to 4 cameras with every one of the devices. This allows you to toggle between live and recorded video. You can also save snapshots or add a bookmark to the interaction. Next slide. I mentioned being able to locate these on the graphical map, which then you can right-click to connect, which will broker the call between your workstation master and the remote station. Next slide. And finally, you can initiate calls from within the alarm handling screen. Next slide. Or within the identity verification screen. So as you're seeing an identity event, you can see that there's a little icon there for connecting to the nearest intercom associated with that reader. Next slide. So I'll wrap up by just saying that as we look at adding audio into your security solution, it's really important that we have audio, access control, and video. And audio is really the piece of the puzzle that allows you to be interactive with the space. If you have an alarm that's come in or you've seen an incident, then audio allows you to speak to and listen to that area in an interactive way and provide some immediate response. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Matt to talk a little bit more about the analytics capabilities within the Symmetry platform.
Thanks, Kelly. Hello, everybody. Again, my name is Matthew McIntosh, and I'm the product manager of Hosted Solutions. And I'm here to introduce Symmetry Analytics to everybody that has not heard about it before. Next slide, please. So access control systems create a lot of data. But the question really remains, are we really getting the most we can out of that data? Are we getting the value from it? Are we being able to utilize it for everything we wanted to use it for, identifying risks or identifying potential issues before they actually become a problem? And that's what Symmetry Analytics is looking to address. And Symmetry Analytics is going to dive into 3 particular areas: identities, devices, and the occupancy of our buildings. Next slide, please. So from an identity perspective, we really look at 2 different things. The first is any type of abnormal behavior and such. So Is there a person that has changed their typical routines, that they've come in usually 9 to 5, but now all of a sudden they're coming in at 10 o'clock at night? You might want to look into why that is occurring. The ability to sit there and see if a person has more access rights or higher number than the average person and such. And again, why is this a access they no longer need? It's just hanging around. Is there a reason for it? Is there something we need to do about it? Also, the ability to flag events for all of a sudden they start getting at wrong doors or they're forgetting their PIN codes. Finally, from an identity perspective, analytics looks to be able to provide a risk matrix for people to be able to identify which identities are the highest risks to us. This can be used for general information, just to know where our kind of threats lie, as well as if in the case of a termination or such, who can be a possible insider threat and if we have to do something about it. Next slide, please. Outside the anomalous behavior, we also want to look at suspicious behavior, and Symmetry Analytics looks to help that with two main areas. First, ability to detect clone cards. So this is a concept of if you see somebody scan into a building in Los Angeles and then 45 minutes they scan into the building in New York, obviously something has to be going on there. The same person cannot get from Los Angeles to New York within 45 minutes. So this Symmetry Analytics will use to flag these type of events that occur in different areas within a short period of time, so they can be looked into. Next one is consecutive card warnings. So this is the idea of the same at the same door, you're seeing the same card get swiped multiple times. It raises the question of, is this an issue with the reader that needs to be addressed, with the person swiping the card and the door's not opening and it takes them multiple attempts? Or is this a case where a person is swiping the card and then handing it back to the person behind them? Symmetry Analytics will be able to flag these types of events. Next slide, please. Then from moving on from the identities and into the idea of the building occupancy. Now in the post-COVID world, our use of buildings has changed. We're seeing a lot more remote work, a lot more hybrid style situations, and the way the buildings are being used has changed. Analytics allows us to look into and see how those buildings are being used, what time is the most amount of volume of people, what departments are having the most amount of people come in. This will allow us to be able to utilize our resources in those buildings and such in the best, most efficient way possible, so we're not just wasting or throwing away money there. Next slide, please. Finally, Symmetry Analytics looks into the devices. And from this perspective, we're looking to try to use that data to see where we can possibly look to reduce some false alarms or identify hardware that might need to be maintenance or service in some ways. So from this, with Symmetry Analytics, we can look at where the most alarms are coming from and then try to sit there and see why and work them down, as well as we can look at it from a pure device level and sit there and see if this device was averaging 5 alarms per day and then all of a sudden it's averaging 30. Again, what's triggering this difference here? In addition to the kind of hardware and why the alarms are occurring, we're also able to sit there and use Symmetry Analytics to see what identity events have occurred when an alarm has taken place. Sit there and see if there's a correlation between the two things. So that's a quick kind of overview of Symmetry Analytics. Symmetry Analytics we're looking to release in the early part of next year in Q1. And currently it is available to start scheduling demos. If you want to get some more information, just reach out to your local salesperson and they can set you up. And with that, I'll hand it over to Kim for a quick marketing update. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly and Matt, for those great overviews. Next slide, please. So we are excited to announce that we are running a Symmetry SR buy one, get one promotion for a limited time. For those of you who have customers that are still using an old CASI system, did you know that AMAG is now the only company offering a supported transition plan that saves money? Our pin-for-pin replacement allows end users to easily swap out their legacy boards for brand new Symmetry SR boards, all the while keeping their existing readers, cards, wiring, and enclosures. Our Symmetry SR buy one, get one lets you buy 2 boards for the price of 1. This offer is available to new and existing customers who have already transitioned to SR. So double up now, as this promotion is not going to last long. email insidesales@amag.com to take advantage of this opportunity or get in touch with your local RSM. So unfortunately, we have run out of time. If there were any questions, we will get back to you after this webinar. Next slide, please. So thank you, Kelly and Matt, for presenting on today's webinar. And thank you to CJ, who is stepping in for Jamie this month and making sure that everything is running smoothly behind the scenes. If you have any questions about Symmetry, please reach out to your local AMAG representative who can set up a meeting with you. Your local RSM can also answer any Zenitel questions that you may have as well. As always, the full webinar and our previous webinars are on our YouTube channel. As soon as this webinar ends, a survey will pop up in your browser. We ask that you take a second to please answer it, because we're always looking to improve and provide you with the best information that we possibly can. So thank you for joining us today. We hope that you will join our next webinar on January 16th. We're going to take the month of December off. So please join us on January 16th. Watch your inbox for details. Thanks again for joining us today, and happy Thanksgiving.